Alright, what's up, guys? War number 9. This ended up being the final war of Season 30. We're up against Chosen One. And heading into this war, we are 3-5. And we knew that we wanted to get at least to 6 wins. We probably needed to get to 7 wins because I think we had 1 or 2 wins in Tier 2. Because our war rating dropped so much. But anyway, I've got 5 fights this war. We're going to be using Captain America Infinity War for the first time in many seasons, probably at least 10 plus seasons that I've used him in a fight in Alliance War. He's still really good, and I'm going to be using him for that mcoc on node 25. I'll talk more about that when we get there, because there were some specific circumstances I wanted to make sure that we had for that fight. But yeah, so Shang-Chi, because we're going to straight up Path 4 again, Captain America Infinity War, and then I'm bringing in Iron Man Infinity War for the synergy. So number 1, it's going to give me, having a tech on the team is going to give me Petrify on every parry because my cap is Sig 200. And Iron Man Infinity War extends the Petrify duration by 25%, which just means that you can stack more up. And each Petrify, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it reduces opponent power gain from special abilities by 25%. It also reduces their healing, but that won't factor in. But on node 25, where the mcoc is located, it does have kinetic transference, and the kinetic transference power will be reduced by Petrify. You guys will kind of see how that works. It's pretty sweet. And then, as you guys can see, we've got Void and Terrax again on Path 4 in Section 1. You guys saw me take these exact 2 fights on the exact same nodes last war, but I used a guidance from White Magneto on that Terrax, and this war we couldn't bring White Magneto, so we'll be doing that fight without guidance, and you guys will kind of see the difference. And then in Section 2 we've got Immortal Abomination and Spider-Ham. Now if you guys watched my last video, then I did speak at the end of that video about a fight that gave me trouble on Path 4 with Shang-Chi this war. And honestly, all season, for the most part, I've been using Shang-Chi on Path 4. I think, I don't know, in probably five of the 9 wars, I think I've brought him and taken some fights on Path 4. And nobody has been a match for him on Path 4 thus far. And I think that kind of elevated my confidence maybe a little bit too high in him. And this tends to happen with me sometimes. You know, I'm the one doing assignments, and I always preach, assume the worst and make sure that your matchup can survive the worst case scenario. And sometimes I kind of get away from myself on that, and you guys will see kind of what happens. But this fight, you guys should know already. I think this is my 3rd or 4th time taking this fight. It is no problem whatsoever. Shang-Chi is absolutely perfect for this. I am losing a little bit of health here because he does have that Petrify up, but I'm able to reset my Wushu strikes and do the cleansing strike. And then, yeah, now it's into the SP2, and of course he's not going to survive this. Now this next fight, it has insult to injury, so every debuff that I have on me reduces my ability accuracy by 15%. I believe it's my offensive ability accuracy. Or maybe defensive? Hopefully I look. I can't remember if I looked. There we go. Defensive ability accuracy. Okay, so that just means that starting out, we've got a heal block debuff. That's 1 debuff. We're going to have a 15% chance for our parry stun to fail because I'm not using White Magneto here. And there, it fails. That's okay. We're going to play that stun immune. We tried to cleanse, and it doesn't cleanse all the debuffs. Now, last video, I speculated that that was because of insult to injury, and it might be. But I was thinking it also might be. No, all right. I was thinking that it also might be because maybe he applied like 1 too many armor breaks to me, and my cleanses took care of those. But I actually had leftover cleanses here, so it was definitely because of insult to injury. Glad I figured that out on the fly. But anyway, again, the fight is no match for Shang-Chi. As long as you're just aware that, hey man, just assume that your parry's not going to stick. Because, you know, all these defenders are going to have limber anyway. You're not really going to have enough time after you land a parry to wait to see if it sticks and then react. You really kind of need to just assume that it's not going to stick. Play it stun immune. You'll lose a couple percentage points of health extra. So anyway, all right, here we go. So every time I parry, you guys can see I'm applying a Petrify debuff. That's reducing his kinetic transference power only by 25%. Now there, I thought that I had the parry. I just mistimed it. But Captain America glances a lot of stuff, and he is really, really tanky. Now the other thing that you guys are going to notice in this fight, Footloose, obviously, every time the defender activates a special, they gain an Unstoppable buff and an Evade buff. The Unstoppable buff, Captain America can take care of. But the Evade buff, he can't. And because this defender does have 5 out of 5 limber, I'm not able to complete a heavy before he comes out of his stun. And that's why he evaded there. Alright, and then I like to throw the SP3 in war fights. It's just safer. It's going to do really big damage, especially if you have multiple champs of different classes on the same team. There you go. I was trying to dex out of that SP1 really for no reason. And I kind of got locked in the hitbox there. That tends to happen. But overall, it looked like I did a pretty good job in that fight, even though I kind of didn't have a very clean fight. Okay, so this is a little bit later. This is about an hour later. I didn't have enough energy to reach Ham in one silver boost. So I'm like, all right, that's okay. I'll just wait it out, and then I'm going to throw on an invulnerability boost. Now, my assumption in this fight is basically I need to more aggressively refresh my Wushus and repeat my cleansing strikes, because he's going to be applying poisons on me. And those poisons can get a little bit out of hand, just in terms of the volume of poison debuffs. Then the other thing is, every time he throws a special, I'm going to get that armor break debuff. So, really what I should be doing in this fight is I should be cleansing and then resetting. Cleansing, resetting, cleansing, resetting. And the number one thing that I cannot do in this fight is I cannot push him to an SP2. Alright? And of course, there I push him to an SP2, and now I'm backing off. I lose all of my indestructible charges. He throws his SP2, and as you guys know, now he has got his Toxic Aura up, which means that anytime I'm in the vicinity, he is poisoning me. Now there, I used the 200% skill boost, and like Ghost, it was too much. It pushed me over an SP2. My plan there was, alright, I am just going to recycle SP2s here. Now you guys can see, coming out of that SP3, I have 7 poisons, 8 poisons, 9 poisons. So I just want to take a look at this screenshot right before Calamity struck. I've got him in a decent spot, right? Like, really what I need to do here is I need to back off, try to hit into his block, stun him, cleanse, and then get to a special. I honestly don't think that I could have survived that fight at that point. I think that the fatal flaw was made well before that point. So that was my first death of the season in the final war. Really, of course it's disappointing. I was really devastated. I always take deaths hard, but yeah, just disappointed in myself because that was a fight that I hadn't taken yet, and I knew the strategy going in. You know what I mean? That was one where I knew I really need to bait out his SP1s, right? I can't let him get Toxic Aura, and then I just really got impatient. I was like, you know what? My damage is so high on my SP2s that I should be able to recycle a couple SP2s and KO him right away. And of course, being fairly new to playing Shang-Chi, at least in war, this season is the first time I brought him really. I overboosted with the skill boost, and had I used a 150 skill boost maybe, I'm not really sure. I mean, that's untested too, but maybe had I used that or had I not boosted at all, I think I even would have been in a better position. I think had I done a 150 skill boost, that probably would have kept me under 3 bars of power. And I would have been able to recycle another SP2 and get out of that fight alive. Unfortunately, I didn't, but lesson learned. And that's just how war goes, right? I mean, you take a kind of a new fight, even if it makes sense on paper, you've done duels, all that stuff. You know, you take a new fight and it's uncharted territory. So here I'm waiting for his spider sense or spider nonsense to reset, and then I can get to the SP2 and throw it. Had I thrown the SP2 or even the SP1 when he was at 10, my special would have done no damage. And anyway, so that is it for the season. My penultimate fight of the season, I died, and very disappointing. I've never had a perfect season. I've had a couple close ones, but anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Leave a like and a comment. I will have a follow-up video when Alliance War Season Rewards finally come out. And I'm going to give you guys the last few seconds of every single fight that I took in this season. I think I ended up taking 39 fights in 9 wars, so an average of about a little over 4 fights per war. Would have been on pace for, about 50 fights in the season. But, yeah, that's it. Leave a like and a comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you later.